See, here's what you can't do in 2017. It's going to be a lot of voices coming at you. Yeah. It's probably some that already been coming at you. You need to do this, and you need to do that, and you need to do all these things. But if it doesn't line up with the Word of God, if it doesn't line up with what God has spoken to your spirit, don't listen to that voice. Don't listen to that voice. If it doesn't line up with what God has spoken to you, stay away from it. Stay away from it. He says, my sheep hear my voice, and another one they will not follow. Matthew 5:6 says, it says that for those that thirst and hunger for righteousness, not they may, not they might, but he says they shall be filled. Those that hunger and thirst after righteousness, they shall be filled. That's a commandment from God. He says they shall be filled. See, if you're hungry and thirsty for Him, it says they shall be filled. So here's another thing I want to give y'all this. A lot of times we spend so much time chasing God's hand. But He says, if you seek my face, I will extend my hand. Right. If you seek His face, come on. If you seek His face, meaning if you stay in His presence, you seek to be where He is at, then you'll find His hand. He'll extend His hand every time. You just got to seek His face. See, we get so out of line sometimes. We're seeking Him for what He can do for us and all these things. He said, if you just seek my face, if you would just stay in my presence, if you would just seek my ways, I'll extend my hand every time. Every time. Every time. But we spend so much time seeking for what we can get. Lord, give me this. Lord, give me that. And Lord says, hey, if you stay in my presence, my presence, my ways, my ideas, then He said, you will get my hand every time. Every time. Not sometimes, but every time. He said, you will eat the fruit of the land. Yes. Eat the fruit of the land. The fruit of the land. See, that's what He told the children of Israel. He said the land was full of milk and honey. The fruit, they said the grapes were, and all these things was oversized. He said, you will have all that if you will just seek my face. My face. Here's what I want to speak to real quick. The 2016 was a year of testing for some of you. It was a year of testing for some of you. It was a year of testing. See, some of us looked at it like it was a bad year, it was a hard year. Some of us have even said 2016 I'm glad it's over. But here's what I want to tell you. It was a year of testing for you. Many of you were tried in many areas of your life in 2016. You were tried very hard. And many of us were strategically tried and tested in very particular areas of our life. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was marriage. Maybe it was finances. Maybe it was on the job. Maybe it was in whatever area it is, you know. But it was a particular area that God was testing you in. See, this is what God does. See, when God made His covenant with the children of Israel, He said, I'm gonna take you to a land flowing with milk and honey, unending resources, everything that you would ever need. He gave them a promise. Then He brought them back to reality. And in Deuteronomy 8, it tells us, He said, I'm giving you this land flowing with milk and honey, oversized grape, oversized fruit, unlimited resources. Yes, God. But then God says in the next sentence, He said, now I got to test you. He says, now I got to test you to see what's in your heart. He said, because if I give it to you right now, you will get haughty. You will pull your pants up, stick your chest out and say, look what I've done. Look what I've done. And God says all the glory belongs unto Him. To Him. Yes, see, that's one thing I've learned. I had to learn the hard way. I don't play with God's glory. I don't play with it at all. Because he said it belongs to him.
Yeah.
It all belongs to him. So listen to me. You don't want to learn the hard way.
Yeah, you don't know.
So when God does something for you, gives you a great promise that he's going to do all these things, you better give him glory.
Yes.
You better thank him.
Yes, God.
Because he's doing it, not you. Now God just needs your participation. He'll allow the people to see it.
Yeah.
But you better not play with his glory. So God gives them this great promise. Does all these things. He tells them he's going to give them a land flowing milk and honey. And then he says, now I got to test it to see what's in your heart. So this is what he does. He gives them this promise, and we think that just because he makes us a promise, it's going to happen right now, right then. We're gonna have a church with 1,500 people. Then we're going to have the nice cars. We're going to have all these things. But Scripture tells us, he says, then he takes them through the desert, the long way. Y'all know the story. On fast forward. He says that they wandered in that desert for 40 years. History tells us that from Egypt to Canaan was only like a 10 or 11 day trip, but it took them 40 years to get to the promised land. Because they kept failing the test.
Wow.
They kept failing the test. They kept failing the test. They began to murmur about the water was bitter.
Yeah.
They began to complain about they was hungry.
Yeah.
But God always met every need they had.
Yes.
But they murmur and complain about everything. So when the challenges came in 2016, I pray that you didn't fail the test.
Come on.
Yes.
When the hard situations came in 2016, I pray that you didn't complain.
Come on. Come on.
See, this is what we do a lot of times. A lot of times we know that and God forbid, because I'm guilty of it. A lot of times we get to worrying so bad about things. We get to worrying about the issues, the problems a lot of times, and it begins to overtake us, and we can't even think about, concentrate on nothing else. We forget about the God that we serve, the God that created all of heaven and earth. The God is able to do above all things that we can ever think, ask, or imagine. We forget about him. And this is what we do. How many you know word is a sin? Come on now.
Yes.
And so what we do is we begin to worry so bad, and we justify and say, oh, we just concerned. You gotta stop sanctifying the sin is what you gotta do. Yeah, this is what we do. We sanctify the sin. We sanctify the sin. What am I saying? We begin to just sit that sin apart. Yeah, that's what sanctification means. It means that you've been set apart for the purpose to be used for the purpose of God. You've been set apart. And so we begin to sanctify all those sins. We just sit them apart, and we disguise worrying with, I'm just concerned. So in 2016, my prayer is that when the situations came, when God made you that promise early in 2016 that your marriage was going to be great, that you were just going to have finances just in abundance and overflowing, that you was going to have the house, the cars, and all these things. And then in February, life happened.
Life happened.
Life happened. Life hit you like a ton of bricks. Right smack dab in the middle of the aisle. My prayer is that you didn't complain.
Yeah.
That you didn't begin to murmur. That you didn't begin to walk in doubt.
Yeah.
That you didn't begin to walk in fear.
Come on.
And that you didn't begin to sanctify that seed.
Sanctify.
Sanctify that doubt. Sanctify that fear.
Wow.
And disguise it, I'm just concerned. God, I heard you, but I'm going to do it my way. Ego steps in and just gets you all destroyed. My pastor used to say ego stands for edging God out. Edging God out. So God gives them this great promise and then takes them the long way around. I was just telling somebody this morning. See, this is what happens with destiny. You can either go to your destiny in a straight line, or you can go in a circle. But you're going to get there. So God gives them this great promise, and then He takes them through the wilderness, takes them through the desert. Takes them 40 years to make a couple days trip. And then life happens.
Yeah.
God says, now I got to test you. To see what's in your heart. God uses three things. God tests them for three reasons. He said, and the first reason was to humble them.
The humble.
To humble them was the first reason. The second reason was he said he had to prove them or test them. He said, I got to humble you. I got to prove you to see if you can handle the weight of the blessings that I'm about to pour down upon you.
Yes.
You all seen people who was hearing God begin to open up the windows of heaven and pour them out blessings, and they got beside themselves. Y'all seen it. So he says, I got to humble you. I got to prove you. And then he says, I got to see what's in your heart. Now we all know that God and His omnipotence and His omnipresence and He's omniscient, that He knows all things and He knows what's in your heart anyway. He doesn't do it to prove Himself. He do it to show you.
Yes. Yes.
To show you. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of us have said, Lord, if you do this, then I'll do this. We seen it. We seen how arrogant Peter was. And Peter says, God, no matter what, I'll die for you. I'll never deny you. And Jesus looks at him and says, you're going to deny me 3 times before the rooster crow.
3 times.
And so he says that he has to take them through that test to see if they are worthy of the blessings. So 2016 wasn't just a year of testing. So God humbled you, to prove you, and to see what was in your heart. See, God wanted to see the test, the wilderness was simply a test for you to die to your flesh, for you to die to yourself. So when you get to 2017, that you will be that mature man, that you can handle the weight of everything that He was going to do for you. To see if you can handle the weight of all the doors that you will walk through. See, the doors are already open. We just got to walk through. We ain't got to pray for the windows of heaven to be open. They're already open.
All right.
They're already open. We just got to receive it. We just got to show ourselves faithful. So 2016 was a year of testing to test your heart. It was a heart check. That's what it was. It was a heart check to see what was in your heart. See, in the natural, and so God took you through this year of testing, and a little bit of stress came. A little bit of stress came to challenge you to see what was in your heart. See, this is what happened in the natural. In the natural, you know, you take the heart test. You go to the doctor a lot of times. You take stress tests, a heart test, also to see if your heart is okay. to make sure you don't have what they call coronary artery disease. So this is what happens. So you go to the doctor in the natural. You go to the doctor and you take what they call a stress test to test your heart. Y'all get that?
Yeah.
Y'all with me?
Oh yeah.
So this is what they do. So you go to the doctor and you take what they call a stress test to test your heart. And so what the doctor does, he puts you on a treadmill.
Yep.
And you get on this treadmill for, they say, 8 to 12 minutes. And so you begin to walk on this treadmill. Just walk on this treadmill. Y'all know how it is. You just walking on a treadmill. You just in one place. You ain't going nowhere. And that's how it was. That's how it seems like some of you, how 2016 was. Like you were just on a treadmill walking. You was going nowhere fast. Like you was walking, but you wasn't going anywhere. And some of you, and when you speed the treadmill up, you still wasn't going nowhere. You was going nowhere fast. So the doctor puts you on this treadmill for 8 to 10 minutes, 8 to 12 minutes. He puts you on there, you begin to walk at a slow pace. And then they begin to speed it up. They begin to speed it up a little faster and a little faster and a little faster because they have to put stress on your heart. And what he is doing is this, putting stress on your heart to see how your heart will perform when the challenges come.
Wow.
That's good.
And Father, in those 8 to 12 minutes, as time goes on, the treadmill begins to speed up. To speed up faster, and to speed up faster, and to speed up faster again, to see how your heart will perform under strenuous situations.
That's good.
Heart check.
Heart check.
And so the doctor's doing 3 things as well. He's checking to see how your heart performs under stress. Checking your blood pressure, your breathing, and your heart rate. Your blood pressure, your breathing,
and your heart
rate. And this is going to let him know that if your heart is good or if it's bad.
Yeah.
So if your heart can't perform under those strenuous situations,
that's good.
that means you have a bad heart. That means you have a bad heart. See, in order for your body to continue to perform correctly on the strenuous situation, your heart has to be able to keep up with the activity that's going on. So as stress, all the stress comes along, your heart has to be able to pump blood and oxygen out faster into your blood, so you'll be able to keep up with the performance of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
But if your heart is not right, if your heart is bad, that's where heart attacks and strokes and all these things come in. See, in the spiritual realm, that's what happened to the children of Israel. God gave them all these promises, but they had a heart attack.
Yeah.
My God, that's good.
Yeah, they had a heart attack. See, when the challenges of life came, when that bitter water came, their heart could not flow correctly. Their heart could not perform correctly because they had a bad heart. When they was hungry in the desert, their heart couldn't perform right. So when all life challenges came at them, their heart couldn't perform right because it was under too much stress.
My God.
See, when God makes you a promise, he says, now I got to test you to see what's in your heart.
Yep.
So I just want to declare and decree to you today that 2016 was just a year of testing. It was just a stress test. You got to recognize the situation that you was in.
Yeah.
You got to recognize your time of testing.
Come on.
You got to recognize realize that God says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So it's in those times of when you're having that heart check. You said, Lord, this is too much for me to handle. You got to surrender, as the song says earlier. You got to surrender. You got to surrender and says, Lord, I can't handle this. But the word declares in Philippians 4 that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. So you just got to lay it at his feet. You got to lay it at his feet and say, Lord, I can't do it, but with you all things are possible. Your word declares that you said that bring all my burdens to you. You said your yoke is easy, your yoke is light. All those who are heavy burdened, he says, come unto me, because my yoke is easy, my yoke is light. See, when something is, back to the heart, when something is light, you just out for a little light jog, your heart is not racing that much. That's what the Lord is talking about. He says, my yoke is easy, it's light. He says, come unto me, and your heart won't be under so much stress. But when you get in a situation where you try and do it, frustration sets in. You get overwhelmed with things, it sets in. And so your heart is put under that stress that you can't handle. And you got to release it.
My God.
You got to release it. You got to surrender it. You got to surrender all that stuff unto God. So your heart be right. In 2017, as the motivational video said, that you can't take everything out of 2016 and bring it with you into 2017. I'm just declaring and decreeing that you got to let it go. Yeah. You got to let it go. Yeah. You got to let it go. I need y'all to get that. Yeah. You can't take, hey listen, you can't expect 2017 to be a great year when you still dealing with the same old stuff that you was dealing with in 2016. Yeah. You got to let it go. You got to release it. You got to surrender that thing. You got to surrender it. Because your heart cannot handle that. It's too much weight. Yeah. It's going to be an amazing year. 2017 is going to be a year like no other. I'm declaring and decreeing that on December 31st, 2017, I'm going to be up here speaking this same thing. How many of you remember that word that we talked about on January 1? We said 2017 was going to be an amazing year. A year like no other. A year that was filled with uncommon favor from my house. Yes. And everybody jump up and say, I remember that word, and we experienced that word.
Yeah. Amen.
Your heart has to be right. It was just a year of testing. A year of testing. And because you passed that year of testing, that this year, 2017, is going to be the year that you reap the harvest. Amen. That you walk into the land flowing with milk and honey. That you receive everything that God has promised unto you. Amen. That you eat those giant grapes.
Yes, God.
My God, my God. This is the set time of favor.
Set time.
The set time of favor.
Yes, God.
You didn't know what you went through in 2016 for nothing.
Come on.
All right now. Yeah. All right.
You didn't go through it for nothing.
Amen.
Nothing that you went through will be wasted.
Come on.
God is the one who can take something. Take nothing and turn it into something.
Yeah.
Yes.
What you thought was evil, God is using it for your good.
Yes.
What you thought was a bad situation, God is making it good. What you thought was a wasteful situation, God says, I'm using it for my glory.
Yes, oh God. Yes, God. Thank you.
He can make nothing out of something. I'm just declaring and decreeing that whatever you went through in 2016, don't look at it like it may have been a bad time. But say, Lord, that was a setup for greatness.
Yes.
That was a setup for my abundance.
Yes.
That was a setup for me for my 2017 year of walking into the land of flowing with unlimited resources. I hope you get it. I hope you get it. I'm going to keep saying this is going to be an awesome, amazing year.
Yes.
Do you receive that?
Amen.
If you receive that, give the Lord a hand.
Hallelujah.
Give the Lord a hand. Bless your name, God.